This week, traders have been surprised by the step taken by the Bank of England. The regulator decided to raise the key interest rate. Against this background, the US dollar dropped from its recent highs. Notably, at its December meeting, the Federal Reserve announced its intention to raise the benchmark rate 3 times next year and close the QE program in March 2022. Again, the trading activity will rise only on Tuesday, since on Monday the macroeconomic calendar is almost empty. Tuesday will begin with the publication of the Reserve Bank of Australia's meeting minutes. The regulator's positive rhetoric is likely to remain the same. Notably, the Reserve Bank of Australia considers strong labour market and the inflation growth to 2 or 3% a strong reason for the key rate hike. In fact, Australia's inflation is hovering near its upper limit, whereas employment is rapidly increasing. As a result, consumer income and spending may advance, thus ensuring a stable economic recovery. Against this background, the Australian dollar may gain in value. During the European session, traders will focus on consumer climate changes in Germany, the main Eurozone economy. According to the GfK Research Group, in January, the consumer climate indicator will be at the level of minus 2.5 points. This reflects concerns about the current epidemiological situation in the region and high inflation rates that have a downward pressure on the consumer's purchasing power. However, some analysts suppose that the indicator may rise above zero. Final figures will shape investors' attitude towards the euro. Next week, traders of the pound sterling will continue the active trading of the pound sterling. On Wednesday, various countries are going to disclose their final GDP reports for the third quarter. The UK is expected to be the first to publish its GDP data. Notably, market reaction to the first estimate was quite pessimistic, since the UK economic crisis remains below the pre-crisis level. In addition, on a yearly basis, GDP growth rate was well below the forecast. In other words, the recovery pace of the UK economy is quite modest. Moreover, the government reintroduced some restrictive measures. It's obvious that the British pound will be under significant pressure. The US economic growth report will hardly meet the expectations of market participants. According to the forecast, in the third quarter, GDP growth pace slackened to 2.1%, whereas the initial estimate unveiled an increase of 2.2%. Traders may sell off the US dollar after the publication of the report. And we will monitor the market reaction to the above-mentioned reports. Subscribe to our channel and follow changes in market sentiment with us. Any comments, questions and offers are welcomed. We wish you profitable trading and see you soon.